Welcome to another episode of Game Boy Roulette, where we take a look at randomly chosen games from the Game Boy library.
Mortal Kombat 3. Dang it, all but the one I like. How did this happen? As a kid, I played Mortal Kombat 2 on the Game Boy all the time, and really loved it for being a shockingly fun fighting game port on the handheld. And yet here we are on Game Boy Roulette, and we've now rolled every Mortal Kombat game except that one. Ah well, I guess it's a good way to build suspense. Mortal Kombat 3 was released for the Game Boy in October of 1995, a few months after the game set the world on fire yet again. But unlike the excellent MK2, which was ported by Sculptured Software, MK3 was ported instead by Software Creations, a veteran port and license title company with a litany of games to their name. But Mortal Kombat 3 does have one interesting quirk. It is the first, and as far as I know, only Game Boy game to be rated mature by the ESRB. That's right, the Game Boy had a game rated M. But to be fair, it's mainly because the ESRB wasn't established as much when MK1 and 2 were released. And somehow MK4 got so messed up on the Game Boy, it only got a T. It's funny, of all the games you expect to see have a long lineage on the Game Boy, Mortal Kombat really isn't near the top of that list. But it was such a massive name in the 90s that they had to get it on the handheld. It was simply undeniable. And I remember this one being alright, especially compared to 1 and 4, which were absolute dumpster fires. The box art shows off just how big Mortal Kombat was. You need no background, no art, all you need is the logo and the game would sell. And again, that little M looks so weird. A mature Game Boy game, just a ridiculous notion. It's not my favorite, but it's a pretty good one. It's round 3 with Mortal Kombat 3. Owned by Midway, who made so much money off of it, it's not even funny. It's a little funny. Ooh. Music's a little wobbly. Mortal Kombat 3. So yeah, they were clearly going for that style where they go, we want to like emulate the art as closely as possible rather than develop our own. Just watching this, it does seem like it runs pretty well. I am going to do my best to not constantly compare this to Mortal Kombat 2. I make no promises, but I will try. Right, Kano was back in this game. Kano is my boy. I also do have a move list here open. Kano versus Kano. I'm the one that's on the left. It's actually playing a little bit better than I remember. Still not amazing, but better than I remember. I'm okay with that. Oh, but the projectile. Did you see how slow that was? Trip, 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 trip. Ah, yes, a very easy to understand sprite. Downway punch. Okay, so I hit the move and then 27 seconds later it comes out. Wow, that is so delayed. Oh god, the special moves are so delayed. That's a big problem. Like, gameplay-wise, it is much smoother, though, than I recall, which I'm okay with. Like, I said I wouldn't compare it to Mortal Kombat 2, but I gotta. It's running pretty similarly, but control-wise, it is not as smooth. Darn it. Ah, I got punched. Let's see if another character is any better. You. That is either Sector or Cyrax. It's Sector. Missile. No, the moves are still delayed. Where is that missile? Oh, there we go. Teleport punch. Teleport punch. Whoa. Wait. Ah. This is easy. Okay, so that move comes out pretty well. Also, I'm a little disappointed in this background. It's just one flat color with what appears to be a lantern. A couple of them. And ha-ha! Okay, let's see. There we go. Oh, that was alright. A perfectly acceptable fatality. Again, it's like the foreground of the level looks fine, but they just completely skimped on the background. And to be fair, they did that in 2 as well. Music is a very... An attempt was made, is what I'll say. They really tried to capture the original Mortal Kombat 3's music. Missile. Oh god, there's so much. Okay, we're going into fighting game terminology now. There's so much cooldown on all move. There's so many disadvantage frames. Hang on. Stay away. Stay away! I need to test things. Sonya! Okay, so that's like a full second or two where I cannot move. Thankfully, it seems like this move is just completely broken. Fascinating. I don't know, it just... 2 was the only one that really got this right. But it's clear that 2 was an anomaly. And the thing is, I feel like I can't be too surprised. Fighting games, they're difficult enough to do well, but to do one well on the Game Boy? So difficult. Baby! Wow, that just looks like a lump. I don't remember any of the codes, so how about this? Okay, so... Oh, Oh, can you do the thing where you uppercut them through the ceiling? Yes! Okay, that's cool. I like that they tried to keep in a lot of the stuff in Mortal Kombat 3. Mortal Kombat 3 was a weird game. It did a lot right, but there was also a lot of stuff that the original version did badly. That's why they had to put in Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. That was it. God, so many versions of it. What I was trying to say when I was down there is the background down there was really detailed, but it also made the screen extremely cluttered, so maybe it's for the best that they didn't put the background in, honestly. I found the loop. Whey! This game is alright compared to some of the other Mortal Kombat games, but it's still, like I said, a step down. I really, really wish they had just stuck with the original, but oh well. I guess that's what makes that one so much more special. Also, burning robots alive. That makes this game pretty special. 2 really is the magic number, but I suppose 3 is okay too. I openly admit to waxing nostalgic for the games I played the most as a kid on Game Boy Roulette, but in this case I really do feel justified in doing so, because for all my nostalgic love of Mortal Kombat 2, none of the other Game Boy releases were able to capture the magic, and that was on display with MK3. Everything that made the previous game great, this game did just a little worse. It ran a little worse, it controlled a little worse, the moves were a little bit more delayed coming out. It was like everything was clicked a notch or two downwards from the previous game. And when you have a fighting game that requires precise timing and inputs, you need everything to be as dialed in as possible. But enough of comparing it to Mortal Kombat 2, let's judge the game by its own merits. It's not great, but I will be honest, I have played far, far worse fighting games. Yes, the special moves were delayed, but I could still execute the moves with no issue. Yes, the attacks were slow, but I could adjust. Yes, the graphics weren't great, but they were still miles better than other Game Boy ports. They made a really valiant attempt to nail the imagery that Mortal Kombat was known for, and the fatality actually looked pretty good, one of the best I've seen out of a handheld Mortal Kombat game. As I said, I remembered this game being alright, and it turns out my memory was pretty much correct. The game was alright. So by its own merits, Mortal Kombat 3 is a perfectly acceptable, if not amazing, fighting game on the Game Boy. But from personal experience, I know there's a better one out there. You can play this one if you want, but know that you're just one number away from a far superior game. Someday we'll get to that superior game. I promise, sweetie, we'll be there soon. And that's all for another episode of Game Boy Roulette. Make sure to like the video, comment, and subscribe to follow the series as we continue to dig through the Game Boy vault. I'm BrianJ, and I'll see you next time.